So we're out here at the fire. There's our water pan. These are the chunks of hickory. I'm going to put those on top last. And you'll see some of these coals have not even started. They were on the outside, so I'm going to try and put those in the middle here. You can see when these coals get burning, there's a white area where it started around it. And I do recommend using the Kingsford charcoal if you want consistent, uniform burning throughout. The Kingsford seem to be better at doing that than the others. So I'm just going to give this a second. Take some of these that have already started to burn and put them around the sides. The vents on my Weber, I'm going to have the vent open directly under the fire. So this one is open. I have the other two, and I have them slightly open. That's just my preference because of airflow. And then on top, when I put my Weber up here, I'm going to put the vent open, but the vent is going to be over the meat, so the flow of the smoke is going to go over the top of the brisket. I'm going to grab another big hickory chunk and put that right over the top. Have some pretty thick leather gloves. Also have a piece of oak. Oak's another good smoking wood. Some other good smoking woods, cherry, apple, peach, all the fruit woods are good smoking woods. And set this up here. At this point, the meat's still a little bit pliable. You'll notice I have a little bit of room back here, a little bit of room here, a little bit of room here. So I'm going to throw some sausages on in a couple of hours. You can see the hickory is starting to flame up real well. As soon as I put the lid on, that is going to cause this to just turn to smoke, and we'll see a lot of smoke start to roll out of here as the wood stops actually burning. So I'm going to go about 2.5 hours, and then I'm going to take my brisket and I'm going to pivot it, because one part of the brisket is closer to the fire than the other, and I want it to be uniform. So in about 2.5 hours I'm going to flip it around the other way, and the brisket will be about 1/3, 1/2 cooked at that point. My goal is to put about 6 hours of cooking, smoking time. The temperature, if I had my thermostat, my little temperature gauge, it would tell you that this is about 280, and this is because I've done this 100 times that I know that's what this is. Maybe 290 if it's a hot day. And at about the 2.5 hour mark, the temperature is going to drop to about 230, 220, something like that. And I'll want to stir the coals a little bit when I do that. The other thing, keep in mind on the Weber, and this is true with all smokers, even if you had a smoke box, every time you lift the lid, you add 20 to 30 minutes of cooking time. So if you're a nervous Nelly, and I've seen young people who are just getting into barbecuing, and they'll lift the lid, oh, how's it doing? And then about 10 minutes there, they'll lift the lid, and how's it doing? Well, you're extending your cooking time. So if you do that every 20 minutes, and it adds 20 minutes to lift the lid, you're not cooking your meat. You're kind of smoking it periodically. So we have to be patient. We have to be confident that what we have is going to be working fine. I am. So now I'm going to go do something for our next couple hours, and we'll come check back on the video and see what it looks like then. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 hours. I'm going to pull this off and we'll take a look at what we have here. Starting to look really, really nice. We still have a lot of heat coming from that there. So now I'm going to spin this around. Okay, looks like our fire here good. I'm going to throw another piece of wood on, just to sort of maybe stoke that a little bit more. I am going to add some more coals probably in my next time I do that. Because I have some spare area here, I'm going to add some sausages that I have here. I have some Italian sausage I'm going to add. And then I have some links I'm going to add here. And then I have a big Italian sausage that I made here. I'm going to put that boy up front. And we'll cover this up. You can see the smoke from that new wood that I put on. That's why I always have an extra chunk or two of hickory. I like to have my hickory chunks for the Webers about as big as my fist, as just a general rule. Do a new set of coals to finish this brisket off. So we'll do that in probably about an hour and a half. Alright, so it's been about 90 minutes since I did it last. It's still hot. There's some residual heat. These do hold the heat in really well. You can see how our meat is looking. The coals have gotten much smaller, so I'm going to have to restock my coals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire top off here. Set this aside. I'm going to put my lid over the top of this so I don't get any flies over it. I'm going to restock my coals here. Throw that ugly water out, put some fresh water in, and we'll start phase 2 of our smoking. Okay, so the coals are now going, and another little tip here, you can smell when the charcoal is already going and the charcoal lighter or that fluid or sort of gaseous aroma is gone, and that tells you when your coals are ready to go. So I'm going to put water in my water pan. The water pan keeps humidity in the chamber. So I'm going to distribute my coals around again. So we're going to put that over the top. We're going to flip our sausages around. Trying to give as much smoke area as I can. And that's the thing about this big Weber, it gives you a lot of area to cook on. So there we go. Put this back over the top. Distribute the sausages. Here we go, and then we'll see the burning wood stop burning, and then we'll see the smoke start to come out there again. So we can see it's been about 2.5 hours and looks fairly done, fairly ready to go. I'm going to pull the sausages off. The sausages look quite ready to go. So I'm going to pull my sausages off. These sausages are pineapple brats. Our local grocery store Hy-Vee does a wonderful job of putting those flavors together. This is an Italian sausage that I made with a mix of 2 or 3 different types of sausages. So I'm going to pull that off over here. So I'm going to pull all of the coals together, get them smoking, put this little chunk of wood on here and sort of do a last cold smoke through with this brisket. And we'll finish it off. Turn this one more time and keep it away from the fire, and Put our lid on. As I said, there'll be some heat coming through. Oh, just I've not changed those. That's about the amount of holes that I have open for the top of the Weber. About an hour, and then I'll pull it off. Okay, so I'm going to pull our brisket off here. So it's had the last, I've given it an extra hour, probably more like an hour and 20 minutes of extra smoke. The heat's totally died down, but I'm going to have my gloves on just in case. You can take a look here. You can see how it's really darkened up, and it's also tendered up tremendously. So now I'm going to shut my vents off, save whatever charcoal is left. The lid, when you close it completely, it suffocates and keeps whatever coals you have. We're going to just sample a little bit, clean my knife off earlier. Let's see what we got. And if we'll see in light, you can see we have a smoke ring going here and down there. And let's see what our flavor's like here. It cuts really easy, so pretty tender. It's really tender. Got lucky on this one. So we'll wrap it up, and I'll show you how we're going to serve this. Just sort of re-moisten it. So there you go. Smoking a brisket from the beginning to the end. No special tools, just a Weber, rub, garlic, rosemary, and attitude. That's all you need.